the Jerry Lewis Show with Lou Brown and the band, and Jerry's special guests, William Shatner and Norm Crosby. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the star of the show. Yes, you'll love him. He's about this high, and he does funny things. Yes, he'll drive you crazy. He'll sing songs. Don't laugh at me. I'm serious now. He'll be coming out here.
Get on with it,
Jerry Lewis!
Thank you. Thank you very much, and a pleasant good evening to you. We're delighted to see you all. It's so nice to see you here because it beats the hell out of an empty place. It's so... Yeah! Let me have that, Tim. Did you ever notice, I'm living in this life 58 years. I never, ever realized that there are things around us that are astonishing. Did you ever go for a Kleenex and you have to dig your finger in because it ain't there? Look at this. It comes right up. It's like a guy in there. What'd you expect, Robert Schuller? I want you to know, a wonderful thing about doing a show like this is that you get people they're so curious. They want to know so much about our business. And I am really intrigued with people that really have something that they want to know and that they will ask about. And I don't care what it is. You can ask about anything. Kelly loves that. You can ask about anything you want relative to show business, relative... Will you wait 1 minute? Drunken kids sitting right in front? You can ask me anything you would like to ask me about in terms of show business because that's my racket. But you can also ask anything about anything else. There is nothing in the world I know nothing about. I know everything about. It could be anything you want. I don't know all the answers, but go ahead, young man.
Yes, we would like to ask...
Hold it. I spoke to one... Sit. One man. Is he with you? You work together? Does he drink?
Not,
all right.
And it's Good Friday. We would like to ask you if we could do a quick routine, which is a salute to you, called Dueling Lewises. Very quick.
Well, I don't see why not. I mean, when you open the floor to people that... Go ahead. Of course. Go ahead.
Where would you like us to...
Where would I like you? I would like you to wait in a car to be... Can you do it right there?
Sure.
You're mic'd, and unless you'd like a spot on... Oh, you're all set.
This is it.
Okay. Ready. Go ahead.
Actually, Miss Peggy, Wachowski,
Babe, whoa, zen, tall.
Babe Havenatly,
Morty S. Cashman.
What's the S stand for?
Scared. I'm really frightened of a lot of things.
oh, I'm the guy they call the Enchilada Man.
See? Madame Curie left her mark on the world. Some of the great people like Emile Zola left his mark on the world. God, what have I wrought? That's terrific. That's wonderful. I just hope God is good to you and lets you make a living at Florsheim and you don't do that. The world ain't ready for another one. Anybody, we have microphones in the audience. Yes, the gentleman right there. Why don't you walk right over to the mic and speak right up, sir? I take it you're a Dodger fan. I'm just filling the time till you get to the mic.
What's your favorite movie that you made that you like the best?
Mutiny on the Bounty was probably... I like that the best. It gave me, I was able to stretch in that film. All right.
Okay.
Anyone at all, feel free. You can talk from your seat. Yes, sir.
Talk from here?
I don't think we have a lot of time for logistics. Speak right up.
I have a show business.
I beg your pardon?
I have a show business question.
Yes, sir. Go on. A show business question.
Can I have a job?
That's also a Florsheim question. I wish I had an answer for you. Anyone at all, please feel... Yes, sir. Speak right up, sir.
Are you a turtle?
I beg your pardon? No, I'm Jewish. I don't know where you got... A turtle?
Yeah.
I don't think I know what that means, sir.
The Turtles International Club of America?
No, I'm a Koyan, if you know what that is. No, I got to tell you something. It's very important because I know that we billboarded it. Sammy Davis Jr. was supposed to be on our show tonight. I'm sorry to say that he was taken suddenly drunk and
What are you talking about? Hello. He's here.
He is.
You want to hear Sammy Davis?
Well, I didn't know he was...
Louis, 1, 2, 1.
Hey, baby. Please, Jimmy. We're going to do a song from Arthur, ladies and gentlemen. Dudley Moore, Liza Minnelli, John Gill, God. When you get caught between the moon and New York City, they say it's crazy, but it's true. When you get caught between the moon and New York City, the best that you can do, the best that you can do, the best that you can do is fall in love.
Oh, Sammy Davis.
We'll be right back after these words from your local station and some commercial announcements. So how's everything? Yeah, no kidding.
This is natural, folks. Natural.
Look up is what I was waiting for you to do. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lou Brown and the orchestra. If you... Okay.
First, before we continue, Mr. Jerry Lewis, I want to say something, and I mean this, well,
Go ahead.
sincerely. That nobody in a business, and I've been in a business now as a comedian, almost 20 years, and nobody has given me the breaks that you have, including with the show we're doing now when we first met 20 years ago. And I thank you for that. That's good. No, you know that. And he doesn't like to have that said on camera, but it's true. I thank you very much for that. Now let's get on with the funnies.
Why didn't you say it in the first show?
We don't know which is the first show.
Okay, here's a piece of paper.
Yeah, piece of paper.
Thank you, Charlie. I love you saying that. Write down a number,
A number?
any number. Don't let me see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Give me the pen.
Right.
Fold the paper.
Holy
Fold the paper once.
once.
That's all you have to fold it.
Okay.
Now, you know the number in your head.
Yeah.
Trust that I am aware of the number. Now, take the paper in your hand.
Give me my hand.
Right. Tear the paper in half. Tear the paper in half. Right. Tear the paper in half. Tear the paper. No. Tear the paper in half. What the? Tear the paper. What is this? What is this? You can't tear. It's made of sheet metal gray. Impossible. Oh. I will give anyone in the audience $500,000 that can tear this paper that I give them.
Let me try it again. Let me try it again.
$500,000 cash. It's in my pocket right now for any... in small bills. Anyone that can tear this paper. You want to try it, young man? Come down here quickly. Tear this paper, and you get the money right here on camera. Just rip it right now. Tear it. Good. Sit down in your seat. Get back. Get back. You can't tear that. It's impossible. No one has ever been able to tear that. You see, what you really have to do is belay, mainin, collate, it.
Well.
Hey, when you do an hour show, you gotta fill it with stuff.
Is the mic on? Try it.
This one? Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
All right. Do the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
The Hunchback. How about something classic today? This Richard
The
III.
Hunchback of Notre Dame is not a rock tune.
What? Man, Richard III.
Oh, okay.
The Hunchback King. Whoa.
Okay.
Now is the winter of our discontent. A glorious summer by the son of York, and all that lowered upon our house is now disdainful. I think I'll sing, straighten up and fly right. Fly like that!
We'd like to introduce our first guest, a gentleman who has, for more years than I'm sure he'd like me to mention, entertained audiences with his fantastic brand of comedy. I'd like you to join me in making him feel right at home. Mr. Norm Crosby, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Hi, Norm.
This is some show.
Yeah,
You
it's
gave
fun.
yourself $500,000 to tear a paper that the kid gave himself a rapture trying to rip it.
You know the thrill he had for a second?
And the Hunchback of Notre Dame is skipping and singing and dancing. That's wonderful.
It's so nice to have you with us, Norm.
It's nice to be here.
Thank
Really, I am delighted that this show is. And that people can come here and sit in apathy and touch each other. I mean it. God bless you.
We're delighted. We're having so many super people that have been on the show with us.
I heard the
And-
man was here today.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They told me.
He was here, and Sinatra has never done a talk show, ever. And when I called him and I told him that we were doing something with Metro Media that we felt was important, he said, when do you want me to be there?
Isn't that nice?
And, well, you know, Frank is a pussycat and a sweet man. Tell me about your tournament. You just had a super
We
tournament.
just had a wonderful tourniquet. It was,
A tourniquet? I meant a tourniquet.
well, and a lot of guys played, and a lot of guys showed up, and it was healthy. It was nice out. The weather was good, and it gives you a chance to get out and breathe and respire, and also do something nice for a good cause. And
City of Hope.
nobody knows better about good causes than you. And this is for the City of Hope.
That's terrific.
And it's a wonderful organization, a great humanitarian institution, and I am so proud, Jerry. I was just named Ambassador of Goodwill International for the City of Hope. I am the
That's
Goodwill
great.
Ambassador. That's nice.
That's great.
It's nice. And it's a nice honor, and I go around the country to the different groups and talk about the City of Hope and what they do, and it's just incredible because not only is it a non-sectarian hospital, but people from every stigma can go there, and they have physicians and they have gynecologists and gynecologists. They have, but they do research, which is the most important, aside from medicinal things of which you are aware that people can get obtuse and have trouble. They do research, which is the best thing. You know, in California, I'm sure everybody knows, we just had the first artificial discrimination, name it, where a mother that could be prenatal and be rejected by a pulse of spermatozoa that came... No, just a minute, I'm serious. It came from a refrigerator. So on Father's Day, the kid has to send a necktie to a test tube. But that's not the important thing, is that they share the research, the City of Hope. And when they discover something, they tell everybody so the world benefits. I really mean that. They just developed the laser beam that we already had to a point beyond where now a stagnant woman, a woman who is in construction, can go into a hospital that has a laser beam, and they can, you know how you always guess, and you hope it's a girl, you think it's a boy. They can tell now 100% accurately the sex of an unborn fetal during agriculture. They could tell with this machine, because they could look in a girl, in her chromosomes and in her genes, and then they pull down the genes, and they could see what the kid is. That's nice. Isn't that nice? That's wonderful.
That's marvelous. That's marvelous. And isn't it interesting that people that do comedy are asked to be the spokesman for something as serious as what you're talking about?
Always. Always, because I think people need to laugh. They need to be reminded that there are obligations and responsibilities, but they can be done in a nice way, in a humorous vein, or in a varicose vein, or just some... It makes you feel better when you can give. I know you don't want to talk about your things, but you, God bless you, you tell people what they have to hear, and you make it palatable and interesting and fun so that they don't resent it. Isn't that true? That's beautiful. Really.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to be back with Norm Crosby and some marvelous people. Hang in there. We got some messages along the network. We'll be right back. Welcome back. While we were away, Norm and I were talking about our children. He doesn't like to hear the fact that my firstborn will be 40 years old. My granddaughter is going to be 20. And Daniel, Norm's son, is 15. He's here tonight. I got to ask you this because I know that you have a specific point of view relative to raising teenagers. You got to tell me what's happening with that.
Oh, no, he's all right. He's normal. I mean, he's been arrested. You know, he's a goof. He's a wonderful boy. I love him dearly. But anybody that tells you they got a kid 15, it's not a goof. I mean, he's the maven of the world. He knows everything. Whatever you tell him, you know, I know that. Why do you do these things? Well, I'm trying to find myself. I said, why don't you look near the refrigerator? You know. But it's scary, and I love kids. You know that, Jerry. I have a chenille bedspread. You know, I identify. But it's scary, and my little one, Andrew, is 10. I got to show you something. I don't blame the kids. I really think if kids are cuckoo today, they have a right to be cuckoo. My Daniel, I kid him, but he's groovy. He really is. He's a wonderful boy. They don't allow religion in school. They're having a bill in Congress, and they're not sure if they should have prayers or no prayers. Who will teach the kids? They asked him to name the apostles, all right? And he's a sharp kid. He named Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Happy, Dopey, Sleepy, and Drummer. It's not funny, people. We were mortified. The stupid kid, he left out Sneezy and Doc. But the little one, my Andrew just became a Cub Scout. Lou, they brought home a book. You ready for this? This is what they teach kids today. If you are lost in the woods and you need to know the time, you must go to a patch of sunlight and stand erect. Place your arm parallel to the ground, bend your elbow at a 45-degree angle, and look in your watch. What is that?
I love that. How would you like to hear some more of Norm without me sitting next to him? Right there, Norm Crosby.
Thank you so much. I want to tell you something. I'm going to take this off and get comfortable. God, I said this before when we first sat down, when I came out of the monetary room at the beginning of the show and sat down with Jerry. It's a joy to be on a show like this. It's a joy to see a show like this. Look at you. This is what Jerry Lewis is all about. Lou Brown and this magnificent musical aggravation. Jerry Lewis. Charlie Callas when he walks like that. But look how he overcame that kind of a handicap. My God, that's what this man is all about. Jerry Lewis, there has a magnetism that suctions in people like you wherever he goes. I mean that. Take a moment to look bisectionally around this room. Look around. There are people here of every conceivable echelon, people of every depth, of every background, and people who are casually attired, and people who are in recluse. I mean that. The ladies, God bless you, your accoutrements hang off you. Look how nice you look. And there's a warmth here. There is an apathy. People can come into a studio like this and laugh and have fun and touch each other and establish a rapport and sit with each other. People that didn't even know each other can come in and sit together under this warmth and excretion and feel it. Feel it. You feel it. I'm serious. People that don't even know each other can sit here for an hour and walk out of the studio total strangers. I mean it. God bless you. There's dignity here. There is an aura of reek in this studio that has got to come from you. It wasn't here for the first show. I mean it. And that's what it's all about. It's caring and understanding. Things are getting better. Things are good. The economy's up. Chrysler Corporation, did you read in the paper? $700 million they made? And God bless them. That's what the country is. It's good. It's going to be fine. And they were in such bad shape. You know, Frank Sinatra was on this show. Frank Sinatra was here. And because he's very close friends with the president of Chrysler, Lee Coca-Cola, they made a deal. I mean it. I don't know if you remember the early commercials. Frank did them for $1. For $1, just because he's a friend. And I swear to you, how bad shape they were in, the check bounced. That's the truth. But it's faith. That's what it's all about. You got to have faith. And I can talk about faith. I'm not ashamed. Comics know from faith. The first stand-up comedian in biblical days was Shecky of Nazareth. That's right. Shecky of Nazareth, who was cruise director on Noah's Ark. Do you remember that? And after 40 days and 40 nights, went to Noah with tears in his eyes and said, "Man, I've had bad audiences, but they're animals." Thank you very much.
Have read the recent story in the paper about the notorious organized crime leader who finally broke down and told all he knew about his nefarious friends in the underworld, including naming names. Well, he's here with us tonight with even more inside information. I think you will find his stories interesting and, yes, terrifying. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. X, Guido Santori. Mr. Santori, it's a pleasure to see you, and welcome, welcome to our show, Mr. X.
It's my pleasure.
It's our pleasure, I assure you, sir.
You know, how'd you like to have your tongue pulled out and made into a necktie?
Right, it's your pleasure.
You're a smart kid. Stay that way, and I won't have to tear your ears off and make them into little ashtrays.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I hope so, because if you don't, I'm going to set your hair on fire. Carry you into the opening of the Olympics.
Well, I guess that would hurt a lot.
It wouldn't hurt as much as if I stepped on your head and made a Frisbee out of it.
I have a question, Mr. X.
Wait for my laugh, stupid.
Sorry, sir, how many men have you killed?
I killed so many men that Forrest Lawn gave me a gold shovel.
Could you tell me, sir, how did you start your life of crime?
Oh, why not? Why not? Why not? robbing banks. Watch it. I was in front of so many of those little television cameras that I started wearing makeup. I figure I was on TV more than Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Well, don't you think it's a little dangerous? I mean, revealing your identity like that?
Getting worried about your job?
Of course not.
That's right. Why should you worry? You could always get your old job back testing crash helmets. But seriously, folks, take my mother-in-law. She had to quit because, well, being a loan shark, she had to cut it out, see? Well, she couldn't stay out of the water long enough. 2, 3, 4. Well, it's time to say goodnight. My mother always said, whatever you do, kid, get off with a song. Hit it, maestro. What kind of fool am I? Who never fell in love? It seems that I'm the only one that I've been thinking of. Hey, yeah, hit it.
We'll be right back after the station break. Stay tuned. Should have been with me backstage. I took off the scar and about 3 pounds of skin went with
You got some nerve, let me tell you, to do that kind of stuff.
Why?
Well, because with crime and everything rampant,
So you get a call from, Guido.
they just caught the pickpocket at L.A. airport. They've been trying to catch One Finger Louie. You know about him?
No.
Oh, he only has one finger on his right hand. He steals only bagels and donuts.
I'd like you, ladies and gentlemen, to join me in thanking a super pro and a beautiful man, Mr. Norm Crosby. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Norm. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. I love you. Okay. Charlie. Hello. Come on back. Sit here and join us. Our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, is a gentleman who is a friend of both of ours, and a gentleman who is celebrating his 4th season in a marvelous television series called T.J. Hooker. I know you've seen it, and we'd like you to welcome really a very special man, Mr. William Shatner, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Never mind what
How will you follow that?
Dr. Spock.
Dr. Spock. You will disappear.
Welcome, Bill. It's so nice to have you on the show.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. 4 years with T.J. Hooker. That's a lot of years. Hard work.
Yes. I was 32 when I began.
Well, it's hard work in that you did a series. How long was Star Trek?
3.
3 years. Then the films, you did 2.
3.
That's 2 years.
Yeah.
And you'd done the 3rd.
So that makes me 40.
No way.
No way.
I'm really curious. I've never, ever encountered a series. They are tough, aren't they? Physically.
Doing a series is like doing war. You battle. You battle fatigue, you battle the elements, you battle time, you battle money, you battle the network. Occasionally you battle your co-stars.
What about the creative process?
The creative process. Well, there is a great deal of creative process in television. It's relegated to various avenues. I mean, the writers are really trying hard. The director is trying to be creative, but he has a lot of directing of traffic to do. And the actors, well, I'll speak for myself. You learn the lines as quickly as possible because you get them the last minute. But there's a way of playing in a scene like we're doing now. We're creating now.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're going to say, but in a formed scene, in a scene that's written, you know what you're going to say, but how you're going to play it hasn't been too well rehearsed. So it happens ad lib. And there is a creative process there. I'm very enthused by our show, T.J. Hooker, in that everybody about it is trying to be creative.
Yeah.
And trying to make it good.
Well, you're good, and I say this to you because I enjoy your work, and that's very genuine. You're good because I see the creative process is important to you, that you want to excel. Now, there are actors who aren't terribly concerned with the creative process. They do as they're told, they stand on the mark, and they do it.
Well, the difference between the two in television is so limited. There's such a narrow degree of difference between somebody who is just going by it by rote and somebody who's not, that I guess after a while you get tired and give up.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Well, thank God you haven't. I know there are a lot of people who would have to, because the directorial process, when I'm directing a film, my whole life is in that film. And I don't have to tell you what that is. That's homework, planning, staging, concern with the actor, their lifestyle, for that matter, how they're getting to the studio. It's all a part of your chemistry.
Recently, since the last 2 years, I have been directing film while acting in it. I've done a lot of directing in the theater, also while acting, but acting and directing at the same time is a somewhat unique. Not many people have done it. Yourself and a few others, and I'm in that select group now, and it is something else. It is the ultimate of creativity. That's the way I felt about it. I'd like to trade notes with you on that.
Sure.
I had to plan, and I know you use television. I've been reading, I had read some of the stuff you had about the way you worked. We didn't have time to do that on television, of course. Jerry used a television camera that looked through the motion picture camera so that he could replay what he had just done to see if he had gotten everything that he wanted. And there are so many other people that work in a shot that unless the director can see what he has been trying to achieve, he may not have gotten what he was looking for. For example, there's a guy with his eye to the camera who's framing a shot, and he may not have gotten the framing that you wanted. In television, you work too quickly. You don't have that opportunity. So I had to ad-lib the shots at times. Circumstances change. In a motion picture, you're pretty much set, especially if you're enclosed. Right. But on the streets of Los Angeles, I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
Car crashes, it rains, people don't show, you don't get the permission that you had to shoot in a place is suddenly withdrawn, and you have to ad-lib. So there's a creativity about that.
Sure. The thing that troubles me is that I see a lot of television, and I'm offended at the speed with which they do it because it doesn't come off. On the other hand, I see marvelous television work, and I cannot believe that they did it in that short amount of time.
7 days or 6 days. Time is money.
Yeah.
A show, ours costs $850,000 for an hour. There are many other shows. That's cheap, actually. Up to $1 million, maybe even more, for an hour.
What did they say to Michelangelo? Hurry?
Well, they figured he was a chip off the old block anyway, so...
Yeah!
I had to follow that.
You have a film clip. Let's talk about that. I'm curious to know what it is. Yeah.
Well, it's going to change the subject, and I don't mind, but if you want to change to...
No, I don't want to change the subject yet. Not yet. We can go into it in a minute.
You guide me, because I don't know.
It's about your horses, right?
Yes, I'd like to talk about horses. It's another creative process, by the way.
Yes.
The whole thing is creative processes.
Yeah.
And I'd like to talk about that. Have we finished with directing?
No, I apologize, because I thought the film clip was to do with your work, and now I remember my notes that I read said specifically was to do with the horse.
I'm intrigued and really entranced by what you might have done as a director-actor. I'd be interested in, and I think the audience would be too, to trade notes. You prepared.
Yes.
For months.
Very much so.
Each shot.
Every frame of the picture is prepared months in advance. I storyboard everything. Then I get my actors in an atmosphere of work. I create an atmosphere of fun, nonsense, but disciplined, important work. And you can have both. Once you let an actor know that you love them,
Once you let an actor know that you understand where they're coming from, that they need to show off, that that's their whole lifestyle, and that I know where they're coming from because I come from there too, they trust you. I then get them to understand that what we're doing is a labor of love. We're literally going to make a baby. Let's have it walk healthy. Let it be warm and tender and sensitive, and it'll give people pleasure. And that's how I approach what I do.
And your decision? And your decision to print a shot based on instinct?
Based on instinct.
That's good, that's not good.
I say cut, print. As Charlie can tell you, they are locked. Those two words are locked. If I say cut, and I have to think, it will never be a print. There's something that displeased me, or a sense of time was off. And this...
Well, that's a comedian's instinct for what makes a joke is the same thing, I think, as a singer's instinct for what makes a song. And it's all part of the same process, and I've often thought that a great comic makes a great actor, as a great singer makes a great actor.
Absolutely. He sings the lyrics.
Right.
If he hears them, he sings the lyrics.
The opposite, I don't know whether it's true. I've always wanted to sing. I can't carry a tune. And telling a joke in this company is a big mistake.
You don't have to. You do what you do. We need you to do what you do, and with the excellence with which you do it, and we'll do the silly stuff. And between the three of us, we might get a weekend. We'll be back in just a minute with Bill Shatner. And a 4-page day is not a 12-page.
That's right.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. For those of you that just have, for those who have been with us, you know this is William Shatner. For those that haven't been with us, it's still William Shatner. Hey, we were talking about, Bill, we were talking about your love of animals, and I'm really curious about the horses and what you do with them.
I've been riding horses a long time, and I've only in the last 6 months found out that I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what I was doing. I've made Western films, and I even did a film called Alexander the Great, in which I had to ride a 5-gated champion horse, actually bareback, and mounted bareback. Oh, this was about 10 years ago. And it was, and I still didn't know what I was doing. Recently, I've become enamored of the American saddlebred horse, as well as the quarter horse, both of which I...
Wait, tell me, American saddlebred horse?
American saddlebred horse, a crazy thoroughbred stallion in 1740, came across the ocean. He had a wild mane and high motion and a high head, and they bred him with a Narragansett pacer. These pacing horses you see dragging the carts, ambling motion. They bred those two horses, and out of that came the American saddlebred horse, which is a pleasure riding horse, the epitome of which is the show horse, 5-gated, 3-gated horses, showing the beauty, the aesthetic beauty of the horse, the grace of motion, and the ease of riding.
What's 5-gated, Bill, versus 3-gated?
Walk, slow gait, trot, rack, and canter, and the 3-gate walk.
And the one that does 3 only does 3?
Only does 3, but more like an electric ballet dancer, electric movement. Play the tape, and let me show you what I'm talking about. So I turned.
Will you folks in the studio watch? There's Bill on what is he?
That horse is trotting. I think it's the 3-gated mare, and I'm in Kentucky, buying and trading around with my friend Royce Cates, who is a great trainer. This is a filly, a baby of preferred property, a great stallion, and that's one of his fillies. And the joy of breeding these horses. Now here's a young one, a yearling. That look at the look at the beauty of that horse.
Look at my wife's eyes while she's looking at the horses. She loves horses like you do.
Oh, these are the most magnificent horses. I breed these horses, and I breed quarter horses. Here is a horse that I'm driving, a 2-year-old that is just learning, is just being broken. And I'm given a chance to get my hands on. And he doesn't like what's happening. You can see you've got to just be so delicate.
I get that from my crew the same way.
You got to be so delicate with these horses as you train them. One, everything is a cue to these horses. Everything is meaningful. Your hands, your legs, everything has to be so carefully. And I've been training for 6 months in order to show. Now, here's a horse under light harness. This is preferred property himself, a world champion, and I've been given the privilege of driving him. And look at the motion. Look at the motion of the horse, and that is what a saddlebred. This is the best of the saddlebred breed.
You look awfully happy in that film.
I go every hour, every lunch hour on Hooker that we shoot in the studio, which is sometimes 3 days out of 7. I'll go on my lunch hour to the Equestrian Center here in Los Angeles and ride my horses. I return, instead of sleeping, I return refreshed as though I had not been at work and that I had not gotten up at 5 o'clock. I'm so proud of those animals, so proud of what I'm attempting to do. I've recently bought a horse by the name of Great Day, Sultan's Great Day, who is on his way, we hope, to the world champion, 3-year-old world championship in Louisville, Kentucky this August. So
Your face is like a little boy lit up at Halloween.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I think that's sensational. I think that anybody that does anything that gives them that kind of joy and pleasure is
and the learning process, and it's creative. It is the part of the creative process we were talking about earlier. I'm thrilled with it.
They're magnificent animals. They have a stature and they have a carriage, no pun intended, that when they're right, is so exciting to watch.
Man bred that animal, these animals, to carry him on his back, but there is a bond between man and animal that is rare, maybe dogs.
Well, you're making the kind of a bond that makes a lot of animals happy they know you. And I'm happy I know you, too. Thank you, Bill.
Very much. William Shatner, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good spot. Really nice. My wife is there in the red suit. She's fainting from horses.
Are we still on?
Charlie,
Yes, yes.
Tell me.
Yes.
If you had to do an impression at my funeral, who would you do it as?
Oh, well, whatever. You know.
Who?
No. If I do this, Jessel.
How?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here today to pay tribute to the late Jerry Lewis. If Jerry were alive today, he would save my life.
You know, when I first started out, like a lot of comedians, you do impressions for
Right.
insurance, because they're great crowd people.
I did Vaughn Monroe when I was a kid.
Vaughn
But who remembers that?
that's 4.
The first impression I ever did was, Cary Grant, naturally. I used to call up the Astor Hotel in New York City as Cary Grant. I'd say, hello. This is Cary Grant. I'm at the airport, and it seems that my manager forgot to make reservations. Now, the people at the other end,
You're really Cary Grant? Oh, my gosh.
yes. She was, how many in your party? Oh, well, there were 28 of us. I'd never show up.
You did that?
Yes, yes.
That's nasty, dirty.
But the first impression I ever did, really, was Ben Casey. Remember Dr. Zorba, Ben Casey? Ben Casey, Ben Casey, Ben Casey. Someday with the proper training, you'll learn to be one of the world's greatest, awful Nuberstadelt. One of the world's greatest, absolute, you'll own a drugstore.
Blue Brown and the orchestra, Charlie Callas. We thank you all for being a lovely audience. We'll see you next time. Good night.
guests of the Jerry Lewis Show stayed at the Sheraton Premier, Los Angeles' most distinguished hotel, where you'll enjoy the pleasure of premier living. Jerry Lewis Show, with Lou Brown and the band and Jerry's special guests, Mel Torme and Dabney Coleman.